Hello there. Every modern diesel engine has a turbocharger. On this vehicle it's down the back of the engine down there. The turbocharger's job is to boost engine performance, and it does that by utilising exhaust gases to help it blow air into the intake of the engine. Here we have the main components of a turbocharger. This is the centre shell, and this carries the turbine shaft in bearings like so. That's a complete turbine shaft. This is the exhaust turbine. That sits inside there. The exhaust gas is coming through here from the engine. Blow across that and spin it. That will spin at up to 100,000 RPM, revolutions per minute. On the other end of the shaft is the intake impeller. This spins obviously because it's on the same shaft, and that sits inside the turbine housing, a snail shell it's often referred to as, and that draws air in through this centre hole and blows it out very rapidly against this casing and out through here into the engine. By blowing more air into the engine, we can burn more fuel and therefore we get more power. Now that sounds like it's going to be more costly in fuel, but actually it isn't, because we get more power from it. We can run the vehicle in higher gears and it's therefore more efficient and more fuel efficient. Faults that occur with turbos are usually oil related. There's an oil feed goes into here from the engine and that lubricates the bearings. If the oil seals fail, oil can escape into this housing and get blown into the engine, and then it will burn oil. So you get high oil consumption. It can also be a bit dangerous because if enough oil blows through into the engine can actually run on its own engine oil. Even if you've turned the ignition off, the engine will continue to run, and the engine will run away until it's run out of oil or it detonates itself to bits. So it's quite important that those seals are intact. If the seal on the other side goes, of course, the oil will go into the exhaust turbine and it will just be burned and you'll get a lot of smoke out of the exhaust. But that's not quite as bad as blowing it into the intake. The bearings can fail. That would give rise to that running out of true. Because that can run up to 100,000 RPM, it needs to be very finely balanced, typically to less than 1 gram. If it's out of balance, it can damage the bearings. If it runs out of true, the impeller can contact the casing, the exhaust turbine can contact the exhaust casing, and it causes a lot of damage. Bits of debris can go into the engine and just destroy your engine. So it's quite a simple little device, very important piece of equipment. It's got a few issues that just need to be careful of. Regular oil changes will help to prevent failures. If the oil is old and gets dirty, it can cause the oil feed to the turbo to clog up. If that clogs up, it'll run dry, the bearings will fail, and again, you've got a destroyed engine. So regular servicing, oil and filter changes, I would say annually, whether you're doing the mileage or not. A lot of motorhomes only do a few thousand miles a year, which does seem a bit excessive, changing the oil each year, but if it protects your engine, it's got to be worthwhile. So that's what a turbocharger is, that's what it does. I hope you found this interesting, and I'll see you next time.